What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with another Aha remix, and I wanted to send a big thank you to Graham, who a while back sent me a number of remixes from single releases, as well as some insight as to which ones were better suited for reactions because they're farther away from the album track, and indications of which ones are so close to the album version that they might not really work as reactions because it'd almost be like reacting to one I've already done. And also to Sophia, who reminded me about this email. I had lost track of it. Again, I get a lot of emails, and so emails from a couple of years ago, even if I bookmarked them at the time, I've built up a lot of bookmarks since then, and I hadn't remembered where to find the email. But I was able to search it out, and Sophia gave me some reminders that I've already done a couple of these remixes in reaction form. But I have everything in front of me again, so we do have more remixes to go through. And in fact, there were a couple demos back from Scoundrel days that I had wanted to do at the time, and we jumped over, and I was always thinking I would circle back, so at some point we'll go through those as well. But yes, we're back now to a remix and live performance tandem, and again, my confusion about both sides of this tandem is unfortunate, but I think to be expected given my leaky brain and just how many things we've gone through already. So, in any case, we are going to listen to the Blacksmoke remix of Cosy Prisons. So yes, again, not only am I very fond of the album tune from Analogue, but I'm also quite fond of that Float remix. So I have that kind of fresh in my mind, but I do wonder, what different direction this remix will take it. Graham did mention this one is worth a reaction, so I'm thinking it will be notably distinct from the album version, and probably quite different from the Float remix as well. So let's give it a listen, and I should mention in the moment, I'm guessing Blacksmoke is the remix artist or duo or group. Now, it could be a conceptual label for the remix, but without any other information in the moment, that's what I'm guessing, that Blacksmoke is the name of the remix artist/artists. In any case, let's hear it. This is Aha, the tune is Cosy Prisons, and it's the Blacksmoke remix from the Cosy Prisons single release. Oh.
What are you waiting for? Call now. Every thought you never every mood you always knew would take, every line you spoke out loud in a chat, all the time you took to be your best. Soon you got
I love the check, stand, scan.
sure care for all the time. The once and word, 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 once and word. Did you know you've been cheated? All-out economic collapse.
Get out of here. That's awesome. I mean, it is absolutely as different from the studio version as the Float remix, if not more so, but in a very different direction. And it's clever. Like, first the intro, again, we're at a supermarket somewhere, we're waiting for the checker to, scan the barcodes of everything we're buying, and then that bleep from the barcode scan ends up as a melodic aspect of the tune. And then we get that very funny ending with, the organ player, like, having a bit of fun and a little bit of cheeky, like, carnival type of feel to it. But in between, the actual remix is really interesting to me. It's sort of like a industrial electronica kind of mix. It has a, like, breakbeat, almost drum and bass percussive rhythm to it, but definitely some low rumbling bass and electronic sonics overall, and again with a bit of an industrial flair. Obviously Morton's vocals have been almost like put into a bottle, so we're getting them like filtered and a bit like closed off, but I think it works because it's the kind of vocal that you do hear in tracks like this, which again, it's like very industrial dance club. I was also thinking, and I don't know how many people here will have any clue about Mass Effect, but it's like this now, more than a decade old sci-fi game franchise. And there's some locations you go to where there's like dance clubs, but they're futuristic, it's like hundreds of years in the future. And this is the kind of music that they play in those clubs, like this futuristic electronic with a bit of an industrial twist to it, electronica. So yeah, the feeling of this one is definitely more club, but not like different than, we've heard a couple other like club mixes with, a 4/4 beat, a hands up in the air kind of feel. This is different. This is more like dark room industrial club. I also noticed that the kick drum, it was either muffled or maybe even turned around, like it was a reverse kick, but it definitely had a muffled, or like it wasn't a front end kick. It was like the oomph in the kick came like in the back half. And yes, again, there was some like ambient noise sounds, or like, world sounds used melodically and rhythmically in the tune. I always enjoy that. So yes, I may be maybe not on an island. I'm sure there's some people out there who will get what this tune was trying to do with the original, but it is so far away from the original, like sonically, in terms of the intensity or the flavor of the energy, and of course with Morton's vocals, which, talk about lightning in a bottle, that I wouldn't be surprised that there's a lot of a-ha fans who are like, it's just so different. It's, I think it goes too far, but I very much enjoyed this. Now, I don't know if I enjoyed it more than the Float remix. The Float remix was very special, and I just love that down-tempo meets dub type of atmosphere, whereas this, again, it's completely in a different direction. But I absolutely enjoy this, and if Aha's music is still being remixed 3 or 4 centuries from now and being played on planetary and space station colonies throughout the galaxy, I'm guessing it might sound something like this. So, yes, a cool remix. Once again, thank you to Graham and to Sophia, and of course to all the other Aha family who are still following along. And we will now listen to a live performance in the next video. So, see you for that in a minute. Peace.